Hi, I'm Forrest Hamlet Brown. You know how people say they were born to do something? Well, I was born into the car business. And my favorite car is my first car, and it's right there. 70 Mustang Mach 1.
Injury years ago has kept me from doing the things I love. I'm better now, and my scars tell my story. Now I search for people who, like me, have an inspirational and sometimes life-changing story to tell, and the scars that remain. So join me as we cruise around in a cool car, listen to a good story, and finally see their scars. This is Scars and Cars. Scars and Cars, brought to you by the Browns family of dealerships. Find them at 4browns.com.
Welcome to Scars and Cars. Hey, on this episode, we are featuring a 1978 Lincoln Continental Town Car Edition. I love these cars. I can go on and on about this thing. It's got so many cool little features. I can remember my dad bringing one of these home, my brother and I sitting and playing inside it for days. And we even played inside the trunk. It was so much fun. But let's check this thing out. Let's start under the hood. Okay, under this beast of a hood, we got a beast of an engine. 460 cubic inch Ford V8 engine. Lincoln, to be technical. But a whopping 210 horsepower. Yeah, they kind of detuned these just a little bit. Enough power though to make this thing go down the road at a nice cruising speed. 70, 80, whatever you want to do. A lot of fun. Look at this beast of a grill. One thing that I always thought was really cool about these is they're somewhat breakaway. Hidden headlights. It's a must on a Lincoln. Check out the wire wheels. This car's got the illumination package. This was a big deal back then. Right inside here is just a little bit of light. So you can come up and you can hit the door and that pops on there so you can know where to put your key in. You know, that was before they had keyless entry. It's kind of got the style of the old fender skirts that used to come down. It's not quite the same, but it's got that classic look to it. Another feature you don't see anymore, look at the trim. Look at the trim on this car, all the way from the front to the back. It's also got that body side molding. It goes all the way from the front to the back. Very cool. Trunk is ginormous. You can fit a few bodies in there. Check out the detailing on the back taillight area. It's just really ornate. Power antenna, gotta have that. Landau top, just makes it. You never see that anymore, do you? Check out that back seat. The doors open and close so nice. This one's got 54,000 actual miles on it. We took this car in trade quite a while ago, and I just had to put it away in the collection. They don't make cars this big anymore. They barely make cars at all. But this thing, it's just kind of a classic. We're gonna have a little bit of fun with it today and go on a little land yacht cruise with it. So join us, come along, go for a ride, Scars and Cars, check it out. Hi, this is Forrest Hamlet Brown, and this is Scars and Cars. We're driving around Backbone State Park up in Northeast Iowa in a 1978 Lincoln Town Car Continental. It's a four-door, white exterior. It's got the burgundy interior with the plush leather. And I got a guy with me. We met a few years ago. He's got a really interesting story. Turned into a good friend here. His name is Rob Edwards. Thanks, Rob, for joining Scars and Cars today.
Well, thank you very much, Forrest. What a great day to be out. Beautiful, beautiful park. I don't think we could have found a better place to shoot this.
Yeah, it's big. You know, you just don't realize how big it is. You think, oh, that's just a little park. No, I'd hate to guess how many acres this really is, but it's a very big park. This is going to be fun. We're going to have a good time. We're going to share some car stories and get to know you a little bit more. And then we're going to get into the serious side a little bit later in our interview and you're going to tell us you had the big one.
Yes, I did.
Elizabeth,
Yep.
I'm having the big one. I'm coming, Elizabeth.
All of a sudden, that show came right to view
Right
with
to-
me. I
yeah.
knew what Fred was doing
Fred?
at that time.
Where are you originally from? Where did you grow up?
I'm from Fairbank.
Fairbank, okay.
Yep. And right there on the Quad County area there, the Blackhawk, Bramer, Buchanan, Fayette, but I was on the Buchanan County side of Fairbank.
You have a family yourself, or?
Nope, I've had a couple of marriages.
Okay.
But I didn't learn my lessons from watching my mom and dad have a great, successful, happy
Okay,
marriage.
okay.
I went the opposite route.
Oh, well,
But
you know, that happens.
That happens, but I never had any kids. That was kind of, everybody's got a regret in their life, and that's mine. I would have loved to have had kids, but I've been pretty blessed. My sister had a couple of great kids, and I was able to spend more time with them, and now that they're having children of their own, it's nice being an uncle, being a great uncle, and being involved in their lives. So
that's good.
yeah, I can't complain one bit about that.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
So now people that are checking out this episode, they may have been like, that guy's voice sounds really familiar. So I kind of know what you do, and that's how we got to meet, is through your work life. So tell me, tell everybody here, what do you do? What is that voice? Why is that voice so familiar?
Well, I am a DJ for a radio station out of Manchester right now. I work for KMCH. Back in their prime, that was under my thumb. The Stones on Mix 94.7 KMCH. And I see where a Baby Shark movie's coming to the theaters next month. Kind of leads me to ask, hasn't the planet suffered enough the last couple of years? I mean, obviously not. I've been doing radio for about 25 years now in Waterloo. I was in Marshalltown for a short time, and like I said, my longest stint is where I'm at now. Like I said, at KMCH in Manchester. I've been there coming up right up on about 18 years.
Well, you do have that voice for radio, and
a face for newspaper.
Well, that's kind of the running joke amongst DJs, right?
You got it. You got it. Where I work right now, we play all kinds of music, from country to top 40, oldies, new stuff.
Yeah.
We play it all. I've also, though, in my career, I've played classic rock, I've played country, I've played oldies. Personally, I love the blues.
You like the blues, huh?
I don't know why, but I love the blues. I also love, I've been involved with the Irish Fest in Waterloo for the last several years.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I love that music as well, because I was talking to a couple of the artists from Irish Fest, and I said, this is the only music that I can think of where you're talking about famine, war, pestilence, and you're tapping your toe, you're clapping your hands, you have a smile on.
Right.
It's, the subject matter is so dire, but yet the music is so catchy, and I just find that absolutely fascinating.
I'm like you. I like a little bit of everything. You talked about classic rock. I listen to that. I listen to new stuff every now and then, and especially driving around with my kids. They like new stuff, but they like country music. I was not a big country music fan, but I'm kind of growing into at least some of it. I do like. I'll say that.
And that's it. And for a man of 60 years old, I'm really enjoying some of this newer music that's coming out, but they're getting back to lyrics and getting back to melody. I mean, it's all kind of rotating back to that again. And I know, again, that makes me sound like a curmudgeon old man. The music's not the way it used to be, but they're doing...
They just don't make it like they used to, right, Rob?
That's right.
Everybody says?
That's right.
It sound right, boy.
So talking about that fame and glory and whatnot with all these artists, you guys share stories? I know, because you're a pretty famous guy.
Well, I like to say I'm world famous in Manchester. Outside of Manchester, maybe not. But
you get out to Dyersville, or
there you go.
Elkader,
See the
probably,
greater,
the suburbs.
That's right. The greater Strawberry Point Metroplex. we're pretty strong. No, but all in all, Again, I cannot think of any place I would rather be. Like I said, we could not be more blessed to be in a greater area than Northeast Iowa.
Yeah, and that's, we were trying to highlight Northeast Iowa with Scars and Cars and drive around and get to see some of the beautiful areas. And what you talked about, I appreciate that, just trying to inspire people. That's what we're trying to do with this series is, you know, get the word out that, hey, you can have some rough times in your life, but you can overcome it and hopefully be an inspiration for other people. And let's talk about the cars that you've had. What was your first car?
I had a 68 Lincoln Continental, and it was a
68.
two-door. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a 68, and I guarantee you that was, you want to talk about a big car.
Yeah, that was a big one, just like this.
It was, and the good thing about it was, once again, it rode like a dream. You could take it out on those gravel roads. You wouldn't even feel any of the washboard ruts. It was a beautiful driving car. The only problem was, I don't know how you could drive it today with gas prices the way they are now. Because
Okay, so now, was that your first car?
that was actually the first car I bought on my own.
Oh,
Yep,
okay.
Yep, the
All right.
first one I bought, and I didn't keep it very long, but it was fun while I had it.
Okay, so what color was it?
It was a very dark blue.
Dark blue. Blue was a popular color back then. Those either, you know, it moved from dark blue into that light baby blue. You see them number
Yeah,
of them.
so I got it
Yeah.
at the right time. I don't think baby blue was probably not my favorite color on those cars, but the dark one, it just looked good. I also had at one time a 1971 Pontiac GTO convertible.
Nice car.
Which-
whoa, wait, hold on here. You can't just
You
keep
can't
on
just
going.
throw
No,
that out.
No, 71 GTO convertible.
Yes.
Four speed?
No, it was an automatic.
Okay.
I wish it was a four
Yeah.
speed.
All right. So you've had some cool cars over the days, Rob.
I was fortunate enough to have that. For a guy who really isn't that cool, I've been fortunate.
And so what are you driving right now?
Oh, a 2009 Ford Ranger with enough rust on it to probably qualify to change the color of the truck itself from white to rust.
Well, Rob, we went for a nice little drive in this Lincoln, pulled it in, nice spot here in Backbone State Park. So now we had a lot of fun. I heard some pretty cool stories from you. And now we want to get into a little bit more of the serious side of the Scars and
It
Cars.
had to happen.
It had to happen, right? Yeah. So, you know, how we got to meet each other was through your business, through radio. Our business does business with that radio station. And you came out a couple times, actually, to interview me.
Yes.
And you told me I had a face for radio. I don't know what that means, but
And then you said I had a voice for newspaper, so you know.
no. All joking aside
Yes.
here. But you know, I had noticed you'd lost quite a weight. You're looking really fit. I had been a little bit heavier on that first interview, and we were talking, and you kind of shared with me pretty crazy story about yourself. So why don't we go back to that point where maybe you're a little bit heavier set and start with what happened that day that really kind of changed your world.
Well, this was back in 2017, and at the time I weighed right at about 300 pounds. Obviously didn't take care of myself at all, but I would be having episodes. If I was out doing any kind of physical exertion, I'd feel a burning kind of a sensation, and it was really strange because it was actually right around here, like the neck and maybe the upper chest area. It burned. And then short time after I'd stopped the physical exertion, pain would go away and you'd forget about it. You just go back about your day. And then as time went on, it took longer for the pain to go away, and longer and longer. And finally there was an evening where it kind of radiated. The pain was in my arm. And then I felt the pain kind of up here in my jaw. And I remembered from years ago, that was kind of the sign of a heart attack.
When did you were out for a walk and you really started feeling the problems then, the pain and everything going on? So that was about a day or day and a half?
About a day and a half. Yeah, that pain was going. It was that one full day. Then that evening I was talking with my friend and he wanted me to go right away up to the emergency room. And it's like, no, I'm going to go to bed, get up in the morning. I'll see how I'm feeling. I wasn't 100%, but I needed to go to work. So I went into work. And then that night I was still feeling a little bit off. And I thought, well, just to get them off my back.
Yeah.
I'll go to and when I went to the emergency room, if you would talk to my doctor, he would probably be shaking his head because I was apologizing all the time I went in. I'm sorry, I don't mean to bother you. I don't want to waste your time. I know this is nothing, but to shut my friends up, I'm going to go have you look. And the doctor took my blood, did a couple tests, and came back a little bit later. Very, very polite, very, very calm. You're having a heart attack. And I said,
wow.
What? And he goes, right now, you're having a heart attack. And that sobered me up real quick. I mean, I'm always liking to laugh and joke and try not to take things too serious, but that was kind of an eye-opener.
Yeah, as serious as a heart attack.
Exactly. I think that's where that phrase came from, is right then and there. And bless his heart, the doctor who is now my general practitioner, he was very good, kept me very calm and everything. He had told me that we were going to go to St. Luke's and get it taken care of. And I, of course, well, can I take my truck home because I have it parked here in the park? No, I've called an ambulance. Well, can I? He was
just drive down to the hospital.
I can go to the hospital. I'm feeling fine. But yeah, he, made sure I was safe, and I got on the ambulance. Next thing I know, I'm at the cardiac ward there at St. Luke's.
So they shipped you from Manchester down to Cedar Rapids at St. Luke's.
Yep.
And then what did they do from there?
Well, they found out also at that time I was a type 2 diabetic, which was no big surprise considering how big I was. And what they had to do was stabilize my heart. Again, it was something that had been going on for quite some time. But they did the angiogram, or they ran it through my vein, and they checked and they said, now either we'll have to do a bypass or we'll do the stents. If we do the stents, we can do it right there. Done. In. I wasn't that lucky. I had 5 blockages.
5 blockages.
And so they were very concerned about that. And the only problem is with the diabetes, they needed to get me more normal on that. They had to get everything normalized, get everything stabilized at that time.
Yep.
And so I was in the hospital for a little over a week for that. Then they said, okay, now we're setting a time 2 weeks in the future where you're going to come in and we're going to do open heart surgery.
So they didn't do surgery on you right then?
No. Luckily it wasn't, they thought that getting myself stable was a little, at that point was probably a smarter bet than just opening me up right then and there, which in retrospect, obviously was probably a pretty good idea at that time.
So can you tell us about that surgery and what did they actually have to do to you? Did they like split your chest open or anything?
They opened the chest up, and from what I understand they pretty much take the heart out. I don't know if they set it to the side or whatever, but they take it out.
We'll come back to that later.
Move it to another room and do what they need to do. But they took one bigger artery from my arm, they took one from my leg, and then they took one from this side of my chest.
Yeah, so what was the prognosis for you, at that point? What did your doctor come in and say, all right, you're going to have to do this, or what did they say to you?
At that point, it was a serious, heart condition, but as we both kind of agreed on, the doctor and I, it was self-inflicted from not taking care of myself, so it wasn't heart disease. My prognosis was, okay, we did the surgery. Now you've got to do the rest of the work, and that is start taking care of yourself, the diet, the exercise. You've got to change your life. You've got to take care of yourself. So for the next couple of weeks that I was there in the hospital, a lot of training on that, on what to do and how to, take care of myself, which are things that I've hopefully have continued on, to this day.
Well, you look like you're really taking care of yourself. So maybe if you could tell us a little bit about what you've done to follow that doctor's advice and what is the motivation? How do you get up every day and really follow those orders?
I'm a creature of habit. My bad habits are what got me where I was. So I had to change my bad habits into good habits. And I started by just walking. I watched my diet as much as I could, but I started to walk, and it started just going out of my apartment, maybe just going just from one end of the apartment to the next. Then I built that up, and then I started to do regular workouts. And now I've gotten to the point where I go to our local rec center there where I volunteer, and I do 6 miles every night on an elliptical.
No kidding, 6 miles.
So I do 6
wow.
miles at night, and then 3 days a week I have an elliptical at home too, and I do 3 miles. So I do about 45 miles a week. It sounds extreme, but for me, I've replaced the bad with something healthy,
with
and
the good.
I
Yeah.
enjoy that. I do a little weight training just for upper body, but it works for me. It's low impact, but it gets the heart going. And it's gotten me to the point where I got out of the hospital, I was on 12 prescriptions.
12.
Now I take a half of one pill. So that's, I don't want to sound like I'm bragging. I've just got to say I'm kind of proud of that fact that my diabetes is well handled with diet and exercise. My doctor, they test my blood quite a bit. My numbers are actually even a little low. And a lot of that I have to attribute to changing the diet and then keeping up with the exercise.
So do you want to share with us the amount of weight that you've dropped? Do you care to, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but you like I said, you look great. You're really doing well.
Well, I did lose 100 pounds.
100 pounds.
And
wow.
maybe this is a little tacky to do, but I'll give you, this is my lucky belt. This is the belt that I wore. And I don't know why I keep it around, but maybe that's just my way of reminding myself, don't go back.
Motivation.
Yep. It's kind of nice also to be able to buy clothes off the rack nowadays. That's always a good thing too.
Yeah.
So
share with us just real quick before we wrap up about the symptoms so that people may identify it if they're having the symptoms again. You were talking about some of the pain in your neck and in your jaw. If you can tell us, what were those symptoms?
it was, for lack of a better word, it was a burning. I would start breathing if I was out mowing the lawn or walking, or if I had a busy day at work and I'm scurrying back and forth. It would feel, once again, if you're breathing, it would be like you're almost raw in the neck area. And like I said, it was kind of for me because it was the upper chest, everything. It wasn't where you'd think the heart traditionally is.
Yeah.
And but it had been going on for a long time, and I just thought heartburn, whatever anybody would think. And again, that one time it would start lasting longer and longer to go away. So I kind of knew in the back of my head, okay, there is something wrong. But then when that day I had seen a pamphlet or a flyer about heart attack symptoms, and again, they were talking about the arm and the jaw, and it just so happens that night the arm was hurting and the jaw was, I could just feel it up here in the jaw. And that's when I thought, okay, it can't be a heart attack, but
get it checked out. I guess
I've got people complaining to me, you better get yourself up there.
Yeah. If you have any symptoms like that, go in and get it checked out. That's like probably your advice to everybody.
That is exactly it. Make sure you get it looked at. That's what the doctors are there for.
Well, hey, Rob, it's been a pleasure to talk to you. You're very inspiring. I mean, look at that. You're the vision of health here. But if you would join myself in just saying a quick prayer to give thanks, if that's cool with you.
Oh, it is more than good.
All right. Well, dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for all the gracious gifts that you've given to us. And we ask you to please watch out for those who are sick or who are injured, and be inspired like Rob, our guest today, to take care of ourselves. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Well,
thank you.
Yeah. Rob, this is the cool part that we get to that you really have to show us those details, and we're gonna show us your scar.
Show us your scars!
All right, Rob, you got multiple scars here, so let's check these bad boys out. This one, that is like a road on your arm there.
Yeah.
And that one starts there. That's where they pulled the
They took
vein out of there?
an artery out of there. And the fascinating part of that, right before I passed out at the nurse's office, she had told me they take that out, they take what looks like a knitting needle, they go in and they pull it inside out because there's a way that it's different on the inside of the veins and arteries. So that's what they do, is they take that out, they turn it inside out, and then they transplant it up here. They take that from there because it lasts longer. Since I'm younger, they wanted to make sure that was going to be in there for a long time. So that's how that works. And then they closed it up with that fancy, it's a strip with super glue.
Yeah.
So that's how they do that. So that's
Well, that one's pretty gnarly.
that's an inspiration. When there's days when I don't want to work out or take care of myself, I just look at that and
Look at that.
remember,
Yeah.
we're not playing this again.
All right, let's see where they pop that chest wide
Okay,
open.
here we go.
Yep.
And we'll try to do it this way here. And okay, here we go. If I can take it down to here, if they
Oh,
can
wow.
see.
Yeah, there it is, right there.
And then you feel behind that, if you put your hand on that, you can feel where the wire is, where they closed the bone up.
Oh.
They seal it with wire.
And they leave that in there.
Yeah, so now if you go like that, you can kind of feel there's the wire in there. So that's that part. So
Well, hey, thanks again, Rob. This has been a lot of fun and hearing your story. And yeah, that's pretty wild where they popped you open there. But I always give everybody a big hug here.
All right,
Hope you're okay with that, man.
you got it. Thank
All
you,
right.
Forrest. I do appreciate that.
Hey, thanks for being on Scars and Cars.
Well, thanks for the visit, and hey, thanks for the ride.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for checking us out at Scars and Cars. We hope you liked it, but we'd love to hear your feedback. Any comments you have, tell us what your favorite car is, or if you got a scar story, please share it with us. Who knows, you might be on the next episode of Scars and Cars. So thanks again. Check us out online, and this has been a great episode of Scars and Cars.